Welcome, 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 welcome. How are you guys doing tonight? We are blessed. Hallelujah. Come to Lord. Hold on, let me get some music playing. Let's get some music going. Holy be the name. What is this? No, it's Google Chrome. Okay, it's Google. Spotify. We're gonna get some Spotify going. Get some people going up in the chat. You already know how it is. Bada bing, bada boom. Room of room. Top of black screened you. I just black screened you, but you can still hear me. You got black screened. How did I get black screened? Because I'm the master of this here domain. No. We're gonna continue with Google. You do not have I do, but whatever. No. Ay, caramba. Let's see. Log in. Huh. Listen, we're gonna hear some. You know what? Nah, bro, this ain't it. Log out, log out, log out. Hold on. There it is. We got some music going on in the background now. Just to make everything much more peaceful. You know, you lot more peaceful with it. Yeah, you lot peace. Well, here's your piece there. We got some movies we gotta go over. Some movies we gotta talk about. It's a movie review explosion. It's so boom, boom, boom. I do not have any explosive. Hold on, let me look for an explosive. Hold on. Let me look for an explosive. That sounds bad. I don't mean explosives like that. Okay, if you hear me. Uh, yeah. This right here is a mess of me. Yeah, I'm about to sing to this real quick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yo, this my turn. What's the word? What you heard? You already know I'm fly like a bird. Then I soared. Then I soared. Then I coming through. I ain't even done with you. Everybody up in here. Everybody wants some hair. Yeah. Uh-huh. Then they stopped. Yeah. That's my massage. Yeah. That's my massage. Yeah. That's my raw. That's my go. That's my raw. That's my raw. That's my go. Yeah. That's my raw. That's my yo. That's my yeah. That's my yeah. Yeah. Hold on, we got an explosion now. Hold on, watch it. Watch out for the explosion. It's a review. Oh no. Oh snap. Okay, let's get these reviews in. First things first. Hold on. Let me look for my stuff real quick. Hold on. Oh snap. Alright, so we do know it's here. We do know we can hear me. Let's get to this going on. So we have some movies we gotta talk about. Alright, because I haven't done a formal movie review in a while, so I decided why not try to take out as many movies as possible. Over this week I saw 3 movies. I just saw 2 more newer movies that I'm gonna have to make reviews for, formal reviews, but this is just so that we're somewhat caught up with what we need to be caught up with when it comes to somewhat more newer movies and things of that nature. So the 3 new movies that I saw was Missing, Megan, and Planes. I thought we may have got one more M movie in, but there was no more M movies. It was just 2 M movies and then a movie with a P. So it kind of messed up the overall flow, but you know how they go. You know how we say, you're the best, I'm the best. We do what we can do when it's time to do it. But let's get the first movie out the way. I know I'm gonna get Missing out the way, and then sort of go down, since that's the one that's the newer movie that I saw that's more fresher in my head at the particular moment. So when it came to Missing as a movie, it was pretty bare bones. If you've ever seen Searching, which is this is the sequel to that movie with John Cho, I do recommend you watch that. This does have a little bit nuggets of references to that first movie, but this movie it's an anthology series all to its own. So you don't have to watch that first movie, but just to get a sense of a feel of how this movie is going to work compared to this one in particular. The biggest thing that I think I got away from this movie as a whole is that it's not great, but it's fun. You know what I mean? It does what a mystery is supposed to do. It keeps itself unraveling, and you know, it gives you small nuggets that make you want to overall stay with the. Is this music a little bit too high? Let me turn it down a little bit. That makes you overall want to stay with it for the derangement of its time. But the overall problem is with the movie is that the more and more it goes on, and the more and more it gives itself out, the dumber it becomes. So towards the end of this movie becomes just flat out dumb. And how the movie is presented, I think how it's presented and how it's made makes for pretty not so great acting. So the acting in this movie is not the best at all. It has some spots where it's good. The only good character that, let me look it up. Let me look him up real quick. Because it was one character that I was like, okay, this guy is actually really, really, really good. And you know what? He deserves his props. Let me look him up. His name is Javier. His character's name is Javier. The actor's name is Joaquim da Almada. It's a Spanish name. I'm not good with Spanish names, so don't cancel me. But yeah, he's actually pretty good as Javier in the movie. He's really natural with everything that's going on here, and it kind of makes you feel like he's a regular guy in this movie. He doesn't feel like a character. Everyone else sort of feels like characters, sort of feels like they're acting, sort of feels like, oh my god, my mom, what is wrong with you? Oh my god. Like, they're actually acting. Like, you can feel acting sometimes, and I don't like to feel an actor. I like to feel the character that they're playing, and I don't feel like I really felt the characters that Storm Reid played. She's the bulk of this movie. How they keep it in this frame of everything is being recorded from a laptop or a phone is kind of creative in a sense. It's sort of just like it's also kind of dumb. It sort of just makes it seem like everything is just being watched from your computer, and I'm pretty sure it is, but for the most part it just seems weird and awkward, and they have these close-ups on things. It's like, oh my god, like, if it's like, all right, why are we closing up on things that, unless someone here is actually directing them, but they're supposed to just be regular iPhone cameras, webcams, and things like that, but it's like someone's editing them and it makes it weird. I know it's a movie, so it's gonna do movie things, but it just makes it feel a little bit odd and stuff like that when you see zoom ins and stuff like that. I feel like the character is a little bit, I don't know, maybe she was the best detective out of anybody in this film. I'm not gonna lie, she was better than actual. She has a legit future in law enforcement and being a detective, because she's good. Okay, she can figure out puzzles from here to here, there to there. She can connect A to B, B to A, B to C. She's at Z before you even got to D. She's good at this. But I do feel like on that front, it kind of makes it felt like it made everything super easy when she's figuring things out. It just feels like it makes the overall story and mystery super easy to figure out, but you're just not sure what's going on but it also, you're not sure what's going on, but like I said, by the time you get to the ending, it's a pretty dumb ending. It's a pretty dumb mystery overall that it centers at, and it feels somewhat unrealistic. Like like people are starting to die, and the police just leaves her at her house alone. They're not sure where her mother is. Someone who's close to her mother and who's friends with her mother has just gotten killed. So this is showing that this particular situation is dire. People are literally dying and being killed, and yet the police just leave her there. They didn't catch the person who murdered anybody, but they just leave this girl here who's connected to all of these people alone by herself, which draws in the third act of this movie and where this movie goes. And I don't know, that just made me feel like this is so dumb. Like, no, a police officer wouldn't do that. And once they know that this thing is actually real and what's going on is this serious, they're not gonna just be relaxed on the job at that point. And maybe, you know what, maybe that is how police officers are, and I'm just giving police officers the benefit of the doubt. But I don't know. It just don't seem like they would be that lax about it overall. But if I was to give the movie a rating, I don't have much to really say. These movies don't evoke anything for me to like give you like in-depth conversations about them. All of these movies are pretty paint by numbers. They're not anything that you can really tie back to anything else. They're just generic shit. So if I was to give this movie a rating, it'll probably be a 6 out of 10. It's nothing spectacular. It's nothing too great or anything like that. It's pretty paint by numbers and boring. For the most part, well, it's not boring, but it's pretty paint by numbers. It does keep you interested with how where the story is going and how ridiculous it somewhat all is. So it does keep you somewhat entertained in wanting to follow where it will go in the future. But overall, yeah, it's a good 6 out of 10. I would say see it. I would watch it. I would actually, you know what? I would wait for it to come out on streaming services and watch it there. This isn't something you need to go out into the movies to see. Just because it'll be better if you have something else you can do while it's going on, like and pop in and out and see, oh, what's going on, and then you do a little quick reverse and go, okay, 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 and then you right back out once you've all caught up, and then you see it again. Like, it's one of those movies where you can definitely be multitasking and keeping up with overall what's going on in the story. So definitely not anything you should rush out and go see. It's a brisk 6 out of 10. It's fun. Fun movie. Next movie up, Megan. Oh my Megan. Oh man, Megan is something to really think about. Okay, that is a movie. Okay, I know you look at the overall presentation of it. The presentation of it is very generic, but the story, the jokes, the characters that are involved in this entire movie are pretty good. They're fun. This is another fun one. Like, it's generic as well. But most of all, its most genericism comes in its presentation of everything. I don't know what it is. This feels more like a product than it does like a film. You get what I'm saying? Because like it feels like when you go back in the past and you watch movies with this sort of premise and this outlandish of a story and characters, the filmmaking sort of adds to everything. It matches the all around craziness of the story and characters that's going on, whereas this, it has a crazy story, crazy characters, but the filmmaking is very boring, very generic filmmaking, very generic shots, the lighting, the cinematography. It's nothing to really think about or care about in a sense, but you will have fun because it is funny. It does know it's not taking itself seriously. When you're watching it, it's just not taking itself seriously, which ultimately makes itself a lot more fun and a lot more, a lot more palatable to you as an audience. If this movie was taking itself seriously as like a horror movie, nah, it would just not work out in any sense of the word. It would be legit bad. But since it doesn't take itself seriously, it has a little bit of a wink and a nod to the audiences and what is going on, and has a lot of funny moments, especially involving Megan as this killer doll AI robot anima, what do you call it, android doll. It adds to it. There's a lot of jokes that come from Megan the doll, and how people interact with her, and how she interacts with people. She brings a lot of levity. When you see Megan on screen, you want to watch Megan. I don't know who the little actress is. She did a very good job. I don't think she does the voice. Maybe she does, but if she did, she does a very good job. Like I said, very, very, very charming. Very, very entertaining. You really want to watch this doll kill people, even though you don't really see them kill people. Now, that is a overall flaw of this movie, is that it is a PG-13 movie, I believe. So there's no gore going on. There's no real violence that you see. It's more so implied violence more than it is actual violence, which I think for a movie like this needed it. That extra kick in its filmmaking, I think would have drove itself home. You would have been like, oh, yeah, yeah. If they would have had like real gore and messy violence in this, it would have definitely been taken up a notch from where it is and from where from where it was and how it was going. It would have just made itself a lot better, a lot more palatable, a lot more fun in a sense if it was just like guts and bloods and heads getting ripped off this and stuff like that. But for the most part, it was just generic stabbing, um, some slicing here and there, but for the most part, it was fun, man. I do recommend you pay and see this movie at the theater. I don't know if it's still in theaters. I think it's slowly coming out. I just saw it on my Roku advertising to me through Redbox. But that's how movies are nowadays. They're kind of like in theaters, but they're also on streaming at the same time. It's very weird how after the pandemic, how everything's been going on. It's just a weird thing. It's like the movies are in theaters, but they're also on streaming. It's a weird paradigm. Uh, but yeah, this movie is definitely a lot more fun. I think Allison Williams does good as the auntie to the girl. I think everybody does their job very well. But like I said, the little girl who played Megan, she was great. I don't know if she does the voice, but the little girl actor, she acted very well. She made herself robotic and everything like that. She put a lot of passion into it, and I know what you're thinking. The scene that got us all intrigued to watch this movie that you see in the trailer where she does her little dancing, she does a little dancey dance. It's just as out of nowhere in a movie as it is in the trailer. It just comes up out of nowhere. Literally just pops up. It just like you're just watching a movie and then next thing you know, the little baby doll is dancing and doing this little dance. Doing this little dance. You're like, what are you doing, child? And she just killing people. And that's, you know what? Sometimes that's what makes it all the more fun is the fact that things are just happening for no apparent reason, and you just go along with it and you have fun. That's sometimes the best of the best ideals that you would want from a movie. So I'll just say, just sit back, relax, have fun, go along with the ride. Don't ask too many questions, but not in a bad way. Don't ask too many questions in a good way. Don't try to over nitpick this movie and stuff like that. Like, come on, bro. The movie, come on. Don't ruin the fun for everybody. Sometimes you do have to ask questions in a movie, but I feel like the movie has to at least give you somewhat of a baseline. Don't just have shit pop up. If they do their due diligence of trying to at least put some sort of, explanation or anything like that for why things are happening, all right, man, just go with it, have fun with it. And if it's winking and nodding and also trying to also trying to have fun with you, have fun with it. All right, don't overthink it. That's my overall assessment of this movie. Go and see it, don't think about it, have fun, watch it. It's a good 7. I know it's only like it's only like one notch higher, but I like it so much more than Missing. I do feel like both of these movies are fairly fun to watch, in their own ways. I would also say for Missing, don't think about it too much as well, because you'll get drowned out and it won't be as fun watching it. But it does try to have funny moments as well, but it also tries too hard to be self-serious. And I think Megan does better with the handling of the serious parts, of its funny parts, of its horror parts. It really puts itself together, and it's pretty consistent overall on what it's doing. So yeah, 7 for Megan. I recommend it. I would say watch it, have fun with it. And now we're on to our last explosive, Plane, which oddly enough is also not a bad movie. It's not good, but it's not bad either. It's It's one of those movies. I don't know if any of you bastards have fathers, but I have a father. But it's one of those movies where your father will just call you in from his room and, hey boy, come and watch this, and then you'll watch it and you like, it's just dumb action going on. You don't really know what the story is, what the villains, or what driving anybody to do anything. You just know that people are getting beat up. There's explosions here and there. There's fast-paced action scenes going on. There's bullets flying. That's somewhat what this movie is like. This is one of those movies where I'll also say all three of these movies just cut off your brain to a certain degree. This movie is for sure cut off your brain, because this movie, the worst part about this movie that I would say is ultimately the pacing of it. Like, there's like the passengers, I think you see this in the trailer, they get captured by some like warmongering militia group out in these plains of Philippines, and that would usually be the bulk of the story in most movies like this. That's the bulk of the story, whereas in this movie, that's like a dent in what's going on. It's like one moment it happens and you're like, okay, this is what this movie is going to be, gearing towards. Getting these people back is going to be high intensity. They're going to have to kill a lot of people. They're going to have to fight a lot of people to get these people out of this and get these people free. But for the most part, they get captured one scene, and then the next scene they're free again. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, that was a little bit too quick. It kind of felt like the whole mission and what's going on in this movie just felt so convenient and easy for anybody involved in it. It didn't feel like people are, it doesn't feel like our protagonists were struggling in any way. It just felt like everything was just going, according to plan very easily and very correctly. When it came to the mercenary guys, they have scenes where the plane guys are having dialogue within each other, and those parts are just excruciatingly bad. They try to be funny. They also try to have a little wink wink and nudge towards the audiences through those scenes, and it just feels so out of place. The movie, and it makes the movie just feel so much more low budget than it needs to be, because it's just a bunch of people in like very much an office space room that they probably paid for a couple of days, and they just have the camera rotating around. What's going on? Give me sight. Call these guys. You're lucky. Your job was on the line. You better be able to give me those papers. Yo, I need to find these guys to do these guys. Like, it just feels like that. Gerard Butler is pretty good in it. They finally made him just say he's Scottish instead of having to have him put on like an American accent, and he just can't do an American accent. So they let him be Scottish in this movie. There's one character I do have to give this movie a. This may be a little bit of a spoiler, but I don't care, because it's you can't really spoil this movie except for this part. But I do gotta give this movie props for this. The Asian guy who is friends with Gerard Butler, our main and protagonist. You kind of see it in the trailer of they pointing a gun at him. You hear gunshots, and you're like, oh, he's gonna get shot and killed. And usually in most movies with a character like this, he shows off his son, his new family, his wife, his daughter. Usually a movie like this, that guy dies. He dies. Point blank. Period. The nigga's dead. In this movie, they don't kill him. So I gotta give him a little bit of a props for that, for not killing the sidekick character to the main character who shows off his family. Because usually in most movies, that man's a goner. In this movie, they kept him alive. They killed off like 2 random passengers that no one really cared about, just to add stakes to the overall story, but no one else dies. After that, like, everybody's just good. Everybody just lives. Like, there's just no stakes to it. It's just action, moving, fast pace, and dumbness for like an hour 50, hour 40 minutes. It's pretty awesome plane crash landing scenes, both at the beginning and towards the end, that are very high intense. And how it ends itself is so weird and drawn out, and feels like, what's going on here? Like, are you guys just padding time? Because they have a scene where he kind of like falls out. Because he does go through a lot of stuff, so he kind of like goes like, he's panting, and then he gets up and he just goes outside the plane, and he does it again. He just sits down on the steps and he goes, and then the movie ends. I'm like, what is this? What's going on here? Why did that just happen? Mike Coulter in the movie, Luke Cage. He's just looking very guilty and shiesty in the movie, just bug-eyed and looking around. What's going on? I think I can find a way to get myself out of here. I don't know. What are you talking about? If you want to survive, you gotta survive through this way. And they bring up these weird parts of the movie that doesn't go anywhere as well. About like the terrorists, like the terrorists videotaping people. Like, you didn't really have to show us this particular scene that they're videotaping, they're gonna kill them. Like, we can get that they're possibly trying to kill them or hold them at ransom just from them, killing some of the, passengers and holding them up at ransom. Like, you don't need to show us that they're gonna do this stuff. You could have just showed us that they're doing this. We would have put it together. But for the most part, it's just a dumb action movie, generic as hell. There's nothing to it. There's just point blank, bada bing, bada boom, point A, point B, point C, movie ends. Like I said, it's not consequential at all. It's really not. It's just basic things going on. Towards the end of this movie, everyone survives, everyone lives. Like, I'm okay with telling you that, because like I said, it's just a fun, dumb action movie. Nothing too crazy about it. It does have a pretty good fight scene when he's calling his daughter to let them know that they're on the island, and he gets randomly attacked from behind. That's like a one-shot fight scene, and that's actually pretty badass. I thought when that part happened, I thought, okay, I may actually really, really like this movie if it keeps up with anything that's going on here. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Kind of drops itself down more and more as things go on and stuff like that. It's a pretty plain, bland movie. So if I was to give Plain a rating, it'd probably be my lowest one on here. Probably a 5. It's just average. It's not below average. It's not above average. It's just steady average. I think the only reason it's 5 is because the plane scene, the fight scene, and the fact the Asian guy lived. Like, those three things is what made it so up 5, because it kind of caught me off guard. But for the most part, even though it's the lowest, I still think I still like it more than Missing, which is weird. It's the lowest one, but I like it more than Missing, which is not even the highest one. It's the second highest one. I don't know. Missing was fun. It has its moments, but it just goes so stupid towards the end that I couldn't stay in it anymore longer. And then Megan is probably the best one here. It's the most fun one. It's like, all these movies are fun in their own right. They're generic, and also, like, usually January is the time for, like, very bad movies, but, they're putting out generic movies now, respect, putting out generic movies that you can just watch. You could just sit down and you can just digest easily. You don't have to think about them. They're not crazy. They're just fun. Have at them. But yeah, what time is it? I wasn't trying to be on here for that long. I was just trying to get these movie reviews out for you guys, so that this way, I'm still out here reviewing movies and stuff like that, and I'm not done reviewing. So, yeah, that was overall my review explosion for Missing, Megan, and Plane. I will be going back to more so regular movie reviews after this, because like I said, I did see two movies that are fairly, very recent. Well, actually, one that's not recent at all. I saw Puss in Boots. Uh, I thought that one was actually. You know what? I'll just do a quick best one out of all of these. The best one. That movie is fucking amazing. It's excellent. I saw it last night. It was completely greatness. The way it was put together, it was emotional. I got teary eyed. The best movie out of all these. That's a definite 9 out of 10. Puss in Boots. Go see that one. Just go see that one. That one is amazing. That one is a legit great movie that I think anybody can watch and love. But I'm not gonna go into depth on that one. It was just too great of a movie. I just want you to go see it. That's it. I don't go in depth in great movies. I just want you to go see them. But yeah, I hope you guys like this. We're doing more live streams and stuff like that. This was just I haven't been on here in a while, so I'm somewhat saying, hey guys, how are you guys doing? Hope to see you guys tomorrow. I'll be back here tomorrow. I'll do some live streaming tomorrow, reactions and stuff like that. This was just to get these reviews out. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, good night. Short live.